Hello everyone, welcome back to arpitastechcorner. In this video, we are going to learn about how we can deal with this data storage component in our lakehouse architecture. So, if you are not aware of like how did I choose this lakehouse architecture, please go through my previous videos in this data architecture playlist. Okay, so you will find out the how many architecture we have explored and why did I choose this lakehouse architecture. So from this video onwards, I'm going to explain different components of this lakehouse architecture. So let's start with this data storage. Before proceeding with this, you know that as a data architect, it is very essential to understand where all the data is stored, organized, and managed to be easily accessible. And in this presentation, I will explain to you how did I deal with this storage component of a lakehouse architecture. So, whenever you think of implementing a robust data platform, you need a highly reliable, scalable, available, and strong storage system which can deal with a large volume of data and different type of data. So there are two ways of storing data. One is row wise and column wise. So before going to any storage details, let us understand how this data can be stored in our data storage. One is row wise and another is column wise. Row wise is the data is stored row by row on the physical storage, and column wise is the data is stored as column on the physical storage. Now, is it really impacting our performance? Definitely. Like when data is stored using this row wise method, the entire row is scanned during this data retrieval process. Whereas in the column wise storage method, it helps quickly retrieve the data by scanning only those required storage area where the needed column are located. So, uh, what is the difference? So this row wise method is helpful when you want to read all columns of this data. And however, for an analytical query that requires a few column in an aggregated format, it will negatively impact the performance. So, in that case, column wise storage is very helpful because in the column wise storage is particularly advantageous when dealing with this large volume of data. There are several approaches which improve our performance. Some of them are selecting the only the required columns or rows, partitioning the table, using specific files and table formats which can help to minimize the data, and maintaining the column level statistics. There are many more, but I've tried to highlight some of the important area. Now let's understand in this storage component area what kind of storage we have. Okay, let's start with this cloud object storage. Now, if data varies in type, size, and comes a bulk volume, so very frequently, then cloud storage is the best for storing such type of data. So, normally in the cloud storage should have some of the features which I going to explain to you here. For example, data persistence. So, long-term storage with safeguards against data loss. Okay, this is a very simple thing. Like it should be able to persist the data for as much as required and take care of any avoiding any data loss. Then high availability and backup, always accessible with robust backup strategies, like always available for consumption purpose for a with a proper data backup strategies. Third point is scalability, like easily scalable as data growths happen every day. Okay, our data is increasing the volume every day, so it should be seamlessly scalable. Then the cost flexibility. Now, this pricing adapts to storage purpose and usage. That means flexible storage cost strategy based on your purpose. Like how much data you want to store. So your data storage capability should be applicable based on your cost. Okay. Then the security compliance. So it should meet the organization policies and security standards. So these are all the cloud storage, cloud object storage features we have. Okay. Now is the open file formats is another storage component. So this component helps to define how data will be stored in this cloud storage. Modern file formats have different encoding methodologies which enrich the data compression ability as well as split the data files in a distributed manner. Okay. So in general, organization have popular file, different type of popular file format like CSV, JSON, XML. But this type of file format have some limitation in handling big data or large amount of data. To deal with this limitation, so there are some popular open file format. For example, let's start with this Apache Parquet. You might heard about this Parquet file format. So it is an open source file format that uses the columnar storage method to store and retrieve data. It can handle complex data very efficiently. So, okay. So, if you want to know more about this file format, then I will give you the reference link in the description section. You can check that link. Okay. Second is Apache ORC. ORC, what is the full form? Optimize row columnar. So this is a similar type of columnar file format to our Parquet file format. It supports ACID properties, complex data types like struct, list, and maps. Also, if you want to know more about this file format, I'll give you the link in the description section. Then we have this Apache Avro file format. This is also an open source file format and row based data serialization format. So, this is a preferred format in a very Hadoop ecosystem. I will give you the link to know about this file format in detail. Okay. Now, your next storage component is open table formats. So far, we have understood the data is stored in the cloud storage as the data files. Now, this table format provides an additional layer on top of these data files. So, there are three popular open table format. First is this Delta Lake. So, Delta Lake consists of metadata and data layers. The metadata layer consists of a dash this delta log folder, and the folder holds the JSON files which are created during every transaction. So these JSON files contains metadata and transaction details. So Delta Lake uses this Parquet file format to store the data. Okay, so there are many popular link you have, so you can Google it about to understand this Delta Lake. Then you will find many details about this Delta Lake file format. So here, Delta Lake table format. Here in this video, I'll just give you some high level understanding, and if you want to know more about this, then you have to Google it and you have to know about this Delta Lake. Second is Apache Iceberg. Nowadays is very popular. Similarly, this Apache Iceberg has the two layers, metadata and data layer. So at first, it was used by this Netflix and later on by Apple and Airbnb. They are also using this. Apache Hudi. Apache Hudi also follows the similar structure, metadata and data layer. So if you want to know more about this, you can check in Google about this Apache Hudi, Apache Iceberg, and all those things. Delta Lake is normally we are using very commonly. And also, I will give you some comparison studies among this Delta Lake Apache Iceberg and Apache Hoodie. I'll provide all the link in the description section. Okay. Now we understood what all the storage components we have. But when we design, what should we keep in mind during our design process? So there are many things we have to keep in mind. Some of the consideration, I've just tried to provide some example. If you want to build an end-to-end data platform, then you need to find out which cloud storage will work with which file format or which table format. Then, for example, as your cloud storage supports Databricks, so you can think about the Delta Parquet option. Another scenario is like as most of them are open source technologies, then whose community contribute more or supports more so that you can get more benefit that you need to identify. Another option is like you need to explore supported compute engines as well as relevant required features. Okay, some more points like if you can invest more cost then getting the commercial supports is a good option. Then most importantly the data sharing features, that is very important. Also, before any selection process, there should be a software evaluation process, which is commonly known as proof of concept or POC. Okay, so there are some uh, consideration you have to think about before your proper design, and during the design, you need to keep in mind. Okay, so let's go back again the previous slide. What are the point we learned? First is end-to-end data platform. We need to think about which cloud storage supports the which file format, then which table format. Second point is there are many open source technologies and whose community is contributing more. You need to identify. Then supported compute engines. It's a very we need a very powerful compute engines. We need to explore that one. Then we need to find out the cost. If we have a good budget, then we can go for commercial supports. Also the data sharing feature, that is very important. And lastly we need to do some proof of concept. So from this video you got some idea what all the storage component we have. Okay, what all the storage component benefits we have, what all the design consideration we should think about before going for a proper design. And obviously you have to understand the requirement, your necessity and budget. Okay, you have to go through all the detailed analysis. So if you like this video, please share with your friends and colleagues. Thank you, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.